Thank you so much for listening. If you'd like to offer Dana, then please do go to justthiszen.org/giving. Your support really does make a huge difference. Thank you so much.
Good morning again, everybody. It is lovely to see you all. It's especially wonderful that we have Josh here today to give us a Dharma talk. I think it's to mark the fact that this is the end of term and we'll be starting the holidays soon to resume in early September. So I'm very much looking forward to what Josh has to say to us, and we'll ask him to give his Dharma talk now. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Catherine. It's lovely to be here with you as you move into a pause in your meetings. And today I want to explore pausing, what it is to pause, and in the context of right effort. I was recently asked to offer a talk on right effort, about activating just right energy and finding rest within continuous practice. So activating the right energy and finding rest. And it led me to think about what it is to pause. And let's just pause for a moment, and I would invite you to sense the energy you are using to be receptive to this talk. And I can pause to sense the energy I am using it to offer it to you. I think sometimes we think of right effort as a project. Our mind thinks about where we're going to put our energy. And it's easy to actually think about activating just right energy rather than creating the space for it. In other words, sometimes I think we're looking towards the horizon to some future where we'll devote our energy to, rather than looking at the ground beneath us, moment to moment. And I was conscious this morning of getting up and preparing to meet you, and I was practicing with pausing, because I'm somebody who, if I have a task to do, such as a talk, I can get quite busy around thinking, I'll do this thing, whatever it is, and then I will pause afterwards, and I'll feel calmer once I've achieved it. And I don't know whether you do that sometimes, whether you have things in your mind you know you're going to do today, and then it'll be all right because you've done them. But actually, the calmness I feel at the end of a task doesn't match my anticipation. So I'm really curious about pausing when I'm doing something, such as getting up and preparing to meet you, such as walking down the stairs. How did you, if you have stairs, what energy did you use to walk down the stairs this morning? And were you aware of placing your feet on the stairs and then arriving downstairs? So if we think of energy as something we can return to as, in a way, a first principle, if we think about lifting a glass, you will lift a glass in a completely unique way, depending on your history. The amount of effort you put into actually holding the glass and drinking will be unique to you, to your size, to your history, how you hold tension in your body, how you hold freedom in your body. It's a really lovely way of just orientating towards what could be just right energy for any particular task. And I would say that probably in our society we use too much effort for the very basic small tasks. When we go to a retreat or we sit in a zendo in person, it can be very disappointing because we come to practice, as I do and have done, with ideas about understanding it and working it out and having some sort of curative fantasy about how I'll be if I practice. And we're asked to sit and walk and bow and chant and ring bells, offer incense, clean and take care, and so on. And the focus, frustratingly, can be there's more focus on how you ring the bell or how you hold the incense stick than there is in what you think about the practice. We could think about practice as something a body-mind does, rather than something a body-mind thinks about. And so it's an enactment of something, rather than something that we need to get or understand. And that's why we continuously sit, we walk, we bow, we chant. We're asked to do this again and again and again with our bodies. Judy and I stayed in a treehouse recently in Devon, which was overlooking a beautiful wood, and there's a bath on the balcony, and I really like taking baths, and so I would sometimes have a bath at night looking up at the stars or the clouds, particularly this summer. And there was a beautiful tree overlooking it, a beautiful oak tree. And it reminded me of some correspondence that Sing San, a Korean Zen teacher, had with a man called Ed. So this was at a time when people wrote long letters. I think it might have been pre-internet. And Ed would send him long letters about his practice and his life. But they had a lot of strands of complaint and self-concern and a comparative mind. And Sing San replied very patiently to him many, many times. And then when the last letter I read, at the end of the letter, Sing San said, "I want a short letter from you next time. You must go outside and ask the tree in front of the temple what the true way is. Then this tree will teach you. Don't write me anything else. Just tell me what the tree said to you." So when I was looking at this tree, and I was thinking about the right effort, and for part of the time during an evening, the tree would be just almost completely silent, but its kind of leaves were kind of beautifully fluttering in a gentle breeze. And then as the breeze increased, the clouds became darker, its branches would just flow so beautifully to receive the breeze. And there was this kind of whoosh of energy that it used to meet the breeze. And then the breeze would stop, and then it would move back to relative silence again, but certainly quite a profound silence. And then the process would happen again. And I was thinking about what's this tree teaching me? And it was teaching me something about receptiveness and action and the relationship between those two, which sometimes seem polar opposites. So Suzuki Roshi said, in activity there should be calmness, and in calmness there should be activity. In activity there should be calmness, and in calmness there should be activity. And I feel this kind of dynamic relationship between activity and rest in our lives. It's interesting that some of what I'm talking about today flows into the next two talks that I'll offer. One is next Wednesday to the Precepts group. It's Cultivating a Clear Mind. And the next one is with you in Sheffield in a few days' time, which is around the theme of silence. It seems to me this whole area of right effort and silence and cultivating a clear mind or cultivating a silent mind is all of one big piece for me at the moment. So one of the few instructions Flint has ever given to me is take care how you place your feet in the zendo. And that instruction has stayed with me completely since then. And I wonder if it's something about to take care how I move through the world, how I relate to each moment, how I take care, not just in the zendo, which is a preparation for our lives outside the zendo, but in my whole life. Take care how you place your feet in the zendo. Jikusha Kwong talks about a Rinzai teacher, and when he offered Dokusan to his students who were coming to explore koans, he would listen to how they placed their feet as they approached the Dokusan room. And if he felt that they weren't attentive to the moments of approaching the Dokusan room, perhaps they were absorbed in how they were going to explore their koan, maybe in their heads, not in their bodies, he sent them away. So it's really interesting that this physicality, this mind-body approach to our practice is actually so central. And this is sometimes quite hard to appreciate when we meet online. Karen Maison Miller said about her teacher, Nezumi Roshi, she said, "You might suppose it is some grand philosophy that draws us to the spirit, a theory of the cosmos, but it is the feet, the hands, the eyes, this measly scrap of human life. I was mesmerized by Mizumi's sure, elegant footfall, silent beneath the swoosh of his black robe. He moved when he moved, like Kilimanjaro. I would have followed him anywhere." And for me, this highlights the very relational quality of our practice. That we think it's about understanding the practice. And of course, understanding is not unimportant. But actually, this relational enactment of a body-mind is also really central to what we do. So, what of rest and I'm really curious at the moment um, how I can move into moments of rest even when life seems so full. And the other day, when I was going into town to do a little bit of shopping, I thought of what Mel Weitzman wrote about going to the store. Um, he said, when we go about our activities, we always have a purpose. If I go to the store, I want to buy something. But while going to the store, I'm living my life step by step. It has something to do with going to the store and the motivation to do so, but it's totally separate at the same time. It's just this step, this step, this step, totally living the life of walking within walking. And as I walked to the store, as I walked into town, I was really sensing the pauses between the steps, which seem a continuous flow, and they are. But where is the rest in totally living the life of walking within walking? He says we move and then we rest. Life is a movement and a rest. But in our practice, we move and we rest at the same time. Within our movement is perfect stillness. Stillness and movement are the two aspects of this life. So as we move into this summer pause, I wish you rest in all you do, in all the efforts you make, and stillness, and the opportunity to actually allow yourself to um, remember to pause during our long summer pause. Thank you very much.